Hey everyone, it's just Otaku here playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the NES. Right, so I figured we did a whole lot of gameplay last episode, so why don't we just start off by being a wee bit talky in this one. A wee bit talky, that's kind of the idea I came up with literally 2 minutes ago. So, anyway, what's going on with my life right now? So, still employed. That's fucking great, you know. Maybe can honestly have an argument about that. Totally great. Like I said, the second big purchase, which comes with the second wage, is I don't want to say soon. For one reason, I have no idea when this episode is going to get uploaded, but hey, whatever. You know, I'm at it like it's coming relatively soon. But just depends on your words. Depends on your meaning of the word relative, I suppose, right? But yeah, it looks like the second big purchase is going to happen. Kind of trying to figure out where I'm going to get it, where I should get it. I really should weigh up my options on where I should go for this particular item. Work. I guess I could talk about work. Work's fine. If I had to say anything without breaching all sorts of kind of rules, I would say I'm still fairly on the easy path. If I had to say anything with any luck, my employers are knowing listening to this right now, very, very unlikely. I've said that before as well, but yeah, I reckon I'm still on the easy route, but that might change. It will change. It just depends on when. Actually, the later I would argue, the better, because you know I'm a bit of a slovenly so and so. So you know I'm happy doing hee haw in a day. You know, record or otherwise. You know, I'm happy with. Not scrounging, but definitely lounging. That's what I'm definitely good at. So, yeah, everything on that side looks a-okay. Better than a-okay, actually, but again, I can't really specify. What else did I want to talk about? Hold on a sec. Crazy now that I'm actually feeling a touch cold. I usually feel really warm when I'm recording, but apparently no today. And it's been, weather's been a wee bit erratic in Glasgow, but it's not been cold. It's been wet, but it ain't been cold, so it's kind of crazy. I'm feeling a wee bit blocked up in my nose, but that's just this. So it kind of feels colder now, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to come down with the cold. Wait, any luck. Touch wood. Touching wood right now, so that's totally fine. Anyway, but yeah, things are good. Things are generally good. I really like them. This was actually this has probably been the closest I've came to like a normal week. Before then, I'll admit to this right now. I honestly had not had a great night's sleep since being employed. Now, I'll give you 2 reasons why. The absolute massive intake of caffeine now in every morning, aka coffee, and 2, my back issues Monday were not helping that at all. But I can tell you right now, last night was the closest thing I've had to a normal night's sleep. I'm not kidding. I was like, and it's amazing as well. It's amazing. It is undescribable to me, but I'll describe them. So, you know, when I say they're undescribable, they're actually describable. So, but anyway, I'm being a literal dickhead here, so don't worry about it. Anyway, so what do I mean by that? Well, basically, like I said, I went for about 3 years without actually touching coffee, or rarely touching coffee. I have to. That's more accurate. I rarely touch caffeine or coffee in and of itself. So and I pretty much made the promise to myself. I don't know if I ever made this promise online, but who knows, right? But I pretty much made the promise. If I ever went back in employment, I would start drinking coffee again. And I did. I got employment, and I was like, well, okay, let's start drinking coffee again. And I'll admit, I do love coffee. In fact, if you've listened to any of these previous episodes, you know I love coffee because it does. Like, I go from like, hello, this is Otaku playing whatever on whatever system. And I'm pretty much like that. And I was happy with that. I was totally happy with that. I was either like that or drunk. Let's put it that way. Or not drunk, but at the very least drinking. Which is pretty much like where I am right now. But I'll talk about that more, believe it or not. But yeah, so if you've listened to any of the previous episodes about this playthrough, then goddamn, you know that I've been drinking coffee. I've been really, really drinking coffee. But here's the catch. My body, believe it or not actually used to all that caffeine in my system. Kind of crazy. It really is. So, it's honestly, I've been trying to negotiate that more than everything else. Because it's crazy. It truly is crazy. Hold on. Take another sip here. Honest to God, it's been, don't get me wrong, kind of necessary, considering that I'm working 8 hours a week, and I really have said that before in a previous episode. But I really do enjoy coffee. I really do. I like it really sweet. I like it, packing a punch. But we have a little bit of everything. I just like it sweet and hard. I don't know what that impression leaves on you, but yeah, like plenty of coffee, plenty of sugar, plenty of milk. I like it. I like that. That's my kind of coffee. I like it. But honest to God, it has wreaked havoc on my diet. I'm not kidding. It's like, and it leads me on to the next subject. Believe it or not. But I'll keep talking about coffee right now. Honestly, the amount of caffeine I've been taking is basically like, it is surreal. It is honestly like going from 0 to 100 miles an hour in basically one cup of coffee. And I'm not kidding. I am like, amazingly, I don't talk much during at work. Except for the few people I kind of like, hey, I know you, so hey, let's talk. And I do talk like a fair bit, like I'm talking right now. I'll talk about stories, I'll talk about things I've had previously in my life. I'll talk. It's what I do. I talk. And not necessarily play games. Anyway, don't worry about that. But within the team I'm in right now, I don't talk much. I'll have a few conversations, a few words. That's fine. But with the people I'm more associated with, I talk a lot. I totally do. I totally acknowledge it as well. But yeah. The amount of caffeine has literally went from 0 to 100 miles an hour. It is honestly like that. And you should not be surprised. Fuck, I shouldn't be surprised. If I listen to any of my previous episodes, I bet any money I'm repeating myself again. And if I am, I do apologise. I truly apologise. Because, oh my God, I've not talked this much. Since ever on this channel. Since ever. I don't think there's been any playthrough where I've been like this in any of my in my channel. I've been fairly motor mouth only in this playthrough and not anything else. But I might be wrong about that. I may be right. But don't you leave a message if you've heard me before. Right, so anyway. Oh, talking about the next thing. The next thing, no, I'll admit, sometimes the paranoia gets to me. Paranoia. I'm going to take another sip here because, wow, am I talking? And I'm so sorry for the lack of gameplay. This is a complaint I've been really making more of this playthrough than anything else. And that's the only reason it tells me I, honest to God, have been only doing this for this playthrough. And if it is, I do apologise. I truly do. Anyway, yeah, my next topic of my next subject of topic. Am I saying that right? Next subject of topic. Yeah, I think I am. Is yeah, paranoia. Funny thing, paranoia. Now, if you've listened to everything I've said right now, then you know what? You are my best friend in the entire world. So, anyway, thank you. If you've been listening up to this point, you are the greatest guy in the world. Or you're the greatest girl in the world. Or boy, or girl, or whatever. You are the greatest entity known to man at this point. If anybody has been listening to it at this point, for pretty much all this playthrough, you're amazing. Let's put it that way. And I've said that a couple of times as well, actually. But whatever. Anyway, paranoia. Now, I wouldn't describe myself as the most paranoid of people, but all people, they have this thing for paranoia. And I do as well. Don't worry about it. Honest to God, if you're paranoid, it's fine. Pretty much like I'm paranoid. Everybody's paranoid. You're normal. You're normal. Let's put it that way. Right. Here's where things get a little cloudy as far as I'm concerned. Right. So why am I talking about paranoia? I'm talking about paranoia because I was afraid my kettle was actually poisoning me. Now, not intentionally. I did not think my kettle was poisoning me intentionally. But hear me out right. Now, I've got this kettle, and it's still in my kitchen, by the way. But you'll know why by the end of this story. So, I was like, do you know what? I was drinking all the caffeine from this kettle. I was drinking my coffee, pretty much like how anybody else would. And I was paranoid. Because, let's just say for... How do I best describe this? Due to dietary concerns, I was paranoid that this kettle was not great for me. Oh. Hold on a second. I think there's something going wrong with my OBS here. Give it 2 seconds. I'll do this for a second and then... I'm okay. Don't worry about it. That was something there with the laptop there. Don't worry about it. Apologies if you didn't hear the last seconds of that. Something wrong with my OBS there, but it should be fine. Anyway, I was paranoid that my kettle was poisoning me because honestly, it had been unwashed for quite a considerable time. In fact, it had never been washed at all. Let's put it that way, right? I was worried that it was so unwashed that it would be now filled with bacteria. Now, I feel they need to explain about this kettle, because obviously I'm not making it clear. Basically, it was one of those kettles where it wasn't a normal kettle. It was basically you filled the water up, but you didn't see when you heated it up. You didn't tilt it over to like pour a cup of tea or coffee or whatever. It was basically it came with saying fucking pipe. Let's put it that way. It's not the right word, but it's the best word I'm using right now. It came with saying No, what? No, what's a better word? Come on, it's almost like a thing, you know. Come on, let me think about it. It's kind of yeah. It's almost like the sort of thing you pull a pint with. For those who are underage, like say you wanted a pint of lager, tap. It had its own tap. Let's put it that way, and it was airtight. This kettle had its own tap, so you put water in. Set up to the max, put like a wee cup of whatever underneath it, whether it be a tea bag or coffee granules or whatever you have, right? You would basically put it underneath the tap, press the button, boom, heats everything up, bang, splashes all the hot water down, and then boom, you've got your tea or coffee or whatever. That was basically the thing I have and still continue to have, believe it or not. So, I knew of a way how to clean this particular kettle, but I didn't. I was pure like, do you know what? It was legit too much the hassle for it. It honestly was. So with that in mind, I was really starting to become the paranoid to the idea that basically when I had my cup of coffee in the morning, I was getting more than coffee. I was getting dirty bacteria, and it would be not great for my immune system, let alone my digestive system. So I was paranoid. I'll admit to you, I was paranoid that this thing was not making me great. So, and I'm like, right, what can I legit do? I'm employed now. I've received my first wage. I still have still a good bit of money. What can I do? And I was like, get a new kettle. And I'm like, boom, there we go, get a new kettle. And I did, for £30. And I'm like, yeah, I'm totally happy now. It's a new kettle. It hasn't been used. There's no fucking bad bacteria in it. It's a kettle. It's totally a new kettle. And then when I bought it, I was like, right, so we kind of need to investigate this a bit. By the by, I realised that I've been talking for about 18 minutes now, or coming up for 18 minutes, so I promise I'm going to actually kind of chuck this kind of soon, and then we're going to play a wee bit of gameplay, but let me put it this way. So, I knew I had 2 kettles in my kitchen. I filled the new kettle up with water, did that, waiting for the next morning, right, here we go, cup of coffee, with any luck, no bacteria. So I did it, and I poured myself a coffee with sugar and milk, and I'm like, do you know, I feel some difference, but not a whole lot. Honestly, the difference between the 2 kettles was nothing. It honestly was paranoid. And I can actually talk more about the new kettle, but I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I'm moving off the subject of kettles. Basically, what was wrong with me was basically the amount of caffeine I was taking. And I had to pay for another kettle to figure out that basically I was drinking too much caffeine. So, what does this mean? I have 2 kettles. I'm fairly sure they're fine. So, I have 2 different kettles, 2 different styles, with water, relatively clean, all things considered. And all I took away from it is maybe drink a little less coffee. or put a little less coffee granules in it, and that's all I found out about it. And I'll tell you right now how much the new kettle costs. It cost £30. I had to pay £30 to draw that conclusion. Basically, a little less caffeine in your diet, William. You'll be fine. Ain't that fucking great? Anyway, listen, I've spoke for 20 minutes now, so last 5 minutes, here we go. Gameplay. Von Kaiser. Yeah, I know. And I still have more stuff to talk about, believe it or not. But last 5 minutes, honest to God, we're fighting this guy. Wow. I felt like a lot talking about. By the by, apart from the new kettle is absolutely fantastic. Honestly, in spite of everything I've said, I still really like having that kettle. I'm not kidding. Right, I think we're done. I really like the new kettle I have. And honestly, if I had to say any more about it, it's because the old kettle that I have right now is actually more than a couple of years old. Really? I when I say a couple of years old, I mean more than a couple of years old. So having a new kettle is actually kind of nice. But enough about the kettle talk. Enough about it. Right, I think we'll see. Maybe 1 or 2 rounds. Let's see. Before we call it an episode. Wow. They're really slow at the start, aren't they? That's goddamn crazy. God damn. Now that I know this game, god damn it. Well, partially know this game. God, you're no kidding, actually. Early on, man, you can kick everybody's arse. I really like that about this game. I think one more round for the next fight, and then we'll call it an episode, because we really have been talking for about 20 minutes on this episode. So, we can cutscene. Right, okay. But yeah, totally glad I have a new kettle. Even though I have 2 kettles, I like having a new kettle. And a new kettle that is actually, you know, not bacteria filled. It's actually alright. Oh yeah. Totally forgot about that. Right, if I kick this guy's ass, then it's totally over for this episode. Wow, I really do love this game, I truly do. Alright, here we go. Really, man? Come on! He's a little harder later, wouldn't he? God damn it. Jesus Christ, man. Right, we're totally done with this episode, by the way. That's crazy. That's crazy. Right. Anyway, that's it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. I've been Stitchy Otaku, and you've been watching me play Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the NES. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.